Hello students, let's do ratio and proportion. We're on exercise 7b, found on page number 99. Question 1. Check whether the following quantities form a proportion or not. So here we've been given four quantities, 3x, 7x, 24 and 56. Four quantities. Now when four quantities are related in such a way that the ratio between the first two quantities and the ratio between the next two quantities are equal, then we say that the quantities form a proportion. So let's see whether these four quantities form a proportion. So first thing we need to do is take the ratio between the first and the second quantities. That is 3x is to 7x. 3x is to 7x. So let us write it down as a fraction, 3x by 7x, and then we need to simplify it. We can cancel the x. So what is left is simply 3 by 7. So the ratio here is 3 is to 7. Now let's take the ratio between the third and the fourth quantities. The third quantity is 24 and the fourth quantity is 56. So let's simplify this. 24 by 56. Okay, now let's divide it by a common factor. We can divide both by 4. Let's divide both by 4 and see. So we get 4 6 are 24. Now 56 divided by 4. Let's do that quickly here. 4. Now 4 ones are 4 minus 1. I bring down 6. It's 16. 4 fours are 16. So I can write this 14 here. 6 by 14. Now let's reduce it again. We can still reduce it both by 2. This time we can reduce it by 2. So what do we get? 2 3s are 6 and 2 7s are 14. So we've got 3 by 7 and the ratio is 3 is to 7. So can you see the ratio between the first two quantities is 3 is to 7 and the ratio between the third and the fourth quantity is also 3 is to 7. That means yes, the given four quantities are in proportion. Let's go to the next one. Next question. Again, we've got four quantities here. Now we have 0.8 and 3 as the first two quantities, 2.4 and 9 as the second two quantities. So the ratio between the first and the second quantities will be 0.8 is to 3. So let's simplify that and see. This becomes 0.8 by 3. Now to reduce it to the lowest term, let's convert this to a whole number. Let's convert 0.8 into a whole number. So for that we need to multiply by 10 and we need to multiply here also by 10 in that case. So let's see what we get. 0.8 into 10 is simply 8. 3 into 10 is 30. So we've got 8 by 30. Now let's reduce that to the lowest term. 8 by 30. Now let's divide both by 2. Let's divide both by 2. So here we get 2 4s are 8 and 2 into what is 30? 2 15s are 30. So our ratio between the first and the second quantities is 4 is to 15. So let me write it here also. 4 is to 15 is the ratio between the first and the second quantities. Now let's take the ratio between the third and the fourth quantities. So here we have 2.4 is to 9. So let's do that. 2.4 divided by 9. Again, the numerator is a decimal number. So let me multiply it by 10. Denominator also by 10. And let's see what we get. We get 24 by 90. We get 24 by 90. Now, let's reduce this to the lowest term. Let's divide both by 6. Okay, let's divide this by 6 and 90 also by 6 and see what we get. 6 4s are 24. Let's divide 90 by 6. 90 divided by 6. 6 1s are 6 minus I've got 3, I bring down 0, 6 5s are 30. That means 15 into 6 will give us 90. So I've got 15. So here my fraction is 4 by 15 and my ratio is 4 is to 15. So let me put that ratio here. The ratio between the third and the fourth quantities is 4 is to 15. So if you look carefully, the ratio between the first and the second quantities is 4 is to 15, and between the third and the fourth quantities is also 4 is to 15. That means, yes, the given four ratios quantities are in proportion. The given four quantities are in proportion. Now let's go on to the third one. So here we have fractions. We're going to see if these four quantities are in proportion. So let's start. The first part, the ratio between the first and the second quantities. The first quantity is 1, 1 by 2 is to 3, 1 by 4. So let's do it. 1, 1 by 2, let's convert it to an improper fraction. 2 ones are 2 plus 1, 3 by 2 is to 4 threes are 12 plus 1, 13 by 4. Now remember, a ratio is also division. So that becomes 3 by 2 divided by 13 by 4. Now when we do a fraction division, we get 3 by 2, division becomes multiplication, 13 by 4 we write the reciprocal, 4 by 13. Now let's see what we can cancel here. I can cancel 2 and 4. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. That's it, I can't cancel anything else. So what is my numerator? 3 twos are 6 and my denominator is 13. So this is my fraction and my ratio is 6 is to 13. So let's write the ratio here. The ratio between the first and the second quantities is 6 is to 13. Now let's find the ratio between the third and the fourth quantities. The third quantity is 4, 1 by 2 and the fourth quantity is 9, 3 by 4. So this is equal to, let's convert them to improper fractions. 2 fours are 8 plus 1 9 by 2 is to 4 nines are 36 plus 3 39 by 4. So the next step, they will become division of fractions. 9 by 2 divided by 39 by 4. Now I will change the division into multiplication and write the reciprocal 4 by 39. Let's see what we can cancel. I can cancel 2 and 4. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. I can cancel 9 and 39 also by 3. 3 threes are 9, 39, 3 into 13, 13 threes are 39. Now let's see what is left. 9 twos, 3 twos are 6. We have 3 there, 3 twos are 6. And down 1 into 13 is 13. So now let's write this as a ratio 6 is to 13. So let me write it here also. The ratio between the third and the fourth quantities is 6 is to 13. That means, yes, the given four quantities are in proportion. Let's go to the fourth question. Now here we have decimal numbers. There are four quantities, they're all decimal numbers. And let's start. The ratio between the first and the second quantities is 0.4 is to 0.5. That means, write it as a fraction 0.4 by 0.5. Now let's remove the decimal point by multiplying it by 10 into 10. So I get 0.4 into 10 is 4 and 0.5 into 10 is 5. So my fraction is 4.5. My ratio is 4 is to 5. So I've got 4 is to 5 as the ratio between the first and the second quantities. Fourth one, the second part, the ratio between the third and the fourth quantities now. That is 2.9 is to 3.5. So here also, let's remove the decimal point. 2.9. First, we'll write it as a fraction, and then we'll multiply both by 10 into 10 into 10. And what do we get? 2.9 into 10 is 29. 3.5 into 10 is 35. Now we can't reduce that further. So what is my ratio? The ratio between the third and the fourth quantities is 29 is to 35. And as you can see, both the ratios are different. So that means no, the given four quantities are not in proportion. They are not in proportion. Question 5. So here we have fractions as well as decimal numbers. Let's see. The ratio between the first and the second quantities, 2, 1 by 2 is to 5, 1 by 2. First up, let's convert. 2 2s are 4 plus 1, 5 by 2 is 2. 2 5s are 10 plus 1, 11 by 2. Now we'll write it as a division. Division here, 5 by 2 divided by 11 by 2, which is 5 by 2 into reciprocal 2 by 11. What can we cancel? We can cancel the 2's. So what is left is 5 by 11 is a fraction. Let's write it as a ratio. Ratio between the first and the second quantities is 5 is to 11. Now let's see the ratio between the third and the fourth quantities. The third quantity is 3.0 and the fourth quantity is 6.0. It's the same as 3 is to 6. So let me write it as a fraction, 3 by 6, and then I'll reduce it to the lowest term by dividing both by 3. Let's divide both by 3. So here I get 3 1s are 3 and 3 2s are 6, which cannot be reduced further. So 1 by 2 fraction, I can write it as a ratio. The ratio between the third and the fourth quantities is 1 is to 2. So as we can see, the ratio between the first and the second quantities is not the same as the ratio between the third and the fourth quantities. So that means here also the answer is no. The given four quantities are not in proportion. Question 2. Find the fourth proportional of. Now, here we have three quantities. Now, each quantity in a proportion is called a term or a proportional. Now, the fourth one is missing here, so we need to find the fourth proportional. Let the fourth proportional be x. Okay, we're going to consider the fourth proportional to be x. Now, what does that imply or what does that mean? It means that 3, 12, 4 and x are in proportion. Okay, so they are in proportion means 3 is to 12 should be equal to 4 is to x. So the first two quantities or terms, the ratio of the first two quantities should be equal to the ratio of the next two quantities. So we have the first quantity as 3, second as 12, third as 4, and the fourth one which we need to find out is x here. Okay, so now this is something you should know. The product of extremes. Now what are extremes? The first term and the last term are called the extremes. So product means when you multiply. When I multiply the extremes, the answer that I get should be equal to the product of the means. What are the means? The second and the third terms are called the means. So this statement, product of extremes is equal to product of means, is very important for you to use it in all your sums where the ratios are in proportion. So let's try out this and see, and we can find out the fourth proportional. Product of extremes. So the extremes are 3 into x. And the product of means is 12 into 4. So based on this, we are going to find the value of x. Now I'm going to leave x here on the left hand side. On the right hand side, I have 12 into 4, which I'm going to leave it as it is. 12 into 4. Now I have 3 here, which I have to take from the left side to the right side. And because this is multiplication, when 3 moves to the right side, it becomes division. So here it is divided by 3. 12 into 4 divided by 3. I can cancel something here. I can cancel 3 and 12. 3 ones are 3, 3 fours are 12. That's it. I can't cancel anything else. Now let me multiply my numerators. 4 fours are 16 and denominators 1. That means it's just 16. So my fourth proportional is 16. This is my answer. Question 2. 5, 9 and 45 are the three quantities of this proportion. Now, let the fourth proportional be x. And what does that imply or what does that mean? It means all the terms 5, 9, 45 and x are in proportion. So, 5 is to 9, that is the first and the second term, should be equal to 45 is to x, the third and the fourth term. Now, product of extremes, when I multiply these two, should be equal to product of means, these two numbers. So let's try that. 5, product of extremes is 5 into x. 5 into x is equal to product of means is 9 into 45. From this we can find x, which is the fourth proportional. So what is on the right hand side remains the same. What is on the left hand side? I have 5, which I need to move to the right hand side, and because it is multiplication, it becomes division and it moves to the right hand side. So divided by 5. What can I cancel? I can cancel 5 and 45. 5 ones are 5, 5 nines are 45. That's it. Now 9 nines are 81 and denominator is 1. 81 by 1 is 81. That means my fourth proportional is 81. Question 3. We have three quantities 2.1, 1.5 and 8.4. So let the fourth proportional be x, which means that 2.1, 1.5, 8.4 and x are in proportion. So we have put them as two ratios. 2.1 is to 1.5 and 8.4 is to x. And this statement, like I said, is very important. Product of extremes equals product of means. So what are the extremes? 2.1 into x is equal to 1.5 into 8.4. 1.5 into 8.4. Now to find x, we leave what is on the right hand side as it is. 1.5 into 8.4. And now we bring the 2.1 from the left hand side to the right and make it division 2.1. Now we can cancel. Now 2.1 into 4. Let's try that. 21 into 4. 21 into 4. 4 ones are 4. 4 twos are 8. So 2.1 will be 8.4. So that means 2.1 into 4 will give us 8.4. So this is 1 and this is 4. Now in my numerator I have 1.5 into 4, denominator is 1. So let's multiply 1.5 into 4. Ignore the point, becomes 15 into 4, which is 60. Now my question has one decimal place. So my answer also should have one decimal place. So my decimal place comes here. So what's my answer? 6.0. So now we found the fourth proportional x to be 6.0. So this is my answer. Question 4. 1 by 3, 2 by 5 and 8 by 4. So let the fourth proportional be x. So what does that imply? That implies that 1 by 3, 2 by 5, 8 by 4 and x are in proportion. That means the two ratios will be 1 by 3 is to 2 by 5 and 8.4 is to x, and these two are equal if they are in proportion. Now product of extremes is equal to product of means. So these are the two extremes. So 1 by 3 into x, product of extremes, is equal to product of means, which is 2 by 5 into 8.4. So now we are going to find the value of x. So I'm going to leave x here on the left hand side. On the right hand side I have 2.5 into 8.4. Now let me take 8.4 here. 8.4 by 1. If I have to make it a whole number, I have to move my point one place to the right. That means I must multiply this by 10, and I multiply my denominator also by 10. So it now becomes 84. It's a whole number, but my denominator becomes 1 into 10, 10. So let me write that there. So 8.4 is now 84 by 10. Now 1 by 3, which is here on the left hand side, I'm going to move it to the right hand side. So when I move it, it becomes division. That means reciprocal of 1 by 3, which is 3 by 1. Okay, so now let's see if there's something we can cancel, and we will do our simplification based on that. Now I can cancel 2 and 10. 2 1s are 2 and 2 5s are 10. So now I have 84 into 3 in my numerator and 5 5s are 25 in my denominator. So let's multiply 84 into 3. 84 into 3. 3 4s are 12, carry 1. 3 8s are 24 plus 1, 25. So here I have 252 and my denominator is 5 5s are 25. So now let's divide 252 by 25. 252 by 25. 25 ones are 25 minus 0, 0, and I bring down 2, 0, point. I'm going to carry on with my division. So if I have to carry on with my division, I need to put a point here which I have carried up. Now I can add zeros to my right and I can bring that 0 down. Now I've got 20 and it's still smaller than 25. So I will put a 0 on top, and then I'm going to add one more 0 here and I bring that 0 down. So my number now is 200. The number is 200 and 25 eighths are 200. So 25 eighths are 200. So I've got 0. So I've got my answer as 10.08. So my fourth proportional x I found out to be 10.08. So this is my final answer. Question 5. 4 hours, 40 minutes, 1 hour, 10 minutes and 16 hours. Let's convert them all to minutes. So first we have 4 hours and 40 minutes. In 1 hour we have 60 minutes. So in 4 hours we'll have 4 into 60. 6 4s are 24. 240 minutes plus, let's add this 40 also, which makes it 280 minutes. So the first one we've got it as 280 minutes. Second one is 1 hour and 10 minutes. So in 1 hour we have 60 minutes plus this 10 minutes makes it 70 minutes. So here we have 70 minutes for the second one. And the last one is 16 hours. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. So 16 hours is 16 into 60. So let's multiply by 6 alone. 6 6 are 36. Carry 3. 6 1s are 6, 7, 8, 9. Now add the 0. So that's 960 minutes. So we have this. We have converted them all to minutes. Now let the fourth proportional be x. That implies that 280 minutes, 70 minutes, 960 minutes and x are in proportion. That means the first two terms form the first ratio and they should be equal to the next two terms. 960 is to x. Now, product of extremes is equal to product of means. So now we need to multiply the extremes, which are 280 into x, and this should be equal to 70 into 960. So let's find x. We will leave 70 into 960 on the right hand side and carry this 280 from the left hand side to the right hand side. Becomes division. Now let's simplify. Cancel the zeros. We can divide 70 and 28 both by 7, isn't it? 7 tens are 70 and 7 fours are 28. Now I can cancel 96 and 4 both by 4. 4 ones are 4. 4 into what is 96? Let's divide and see. 96 divided by 4, what do we get? 4 twos are 8 minus 16. 4 fours are 16 minus. So it's 24. 4 into 24 is 96. So now what do we have in the numerator? We have 24 and 10. That makes it 240. In the denominator we have 1. That is 240 minutes. Now this we are going to convert it into hours. So how do we convert it? In 1 hour this is 60 minutes. So we are going to divide this by 60. 60 into what will give us 240. 6 into what is 24. 6 fours are 24. So 60 fours are 240. So here we have 240 minutes or 4 hours. So we have found our fourth proportional here to be 240 minutes or 4 hours. So children, we will stop with that for now. We will continue the remaining questions in our next video. Thank you, children.